All right. Hey, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday. Last week before spring break, which is totally awesome. As Carl Azuz on CNN 10 would say, spring break week is awesome. He would say Fridays are awesome, but spring break week, awesome. All right, fifth graders, I wanted to show you your note card for today. The note card is going to be about graphing. I know last week we did the tables, and some of the problems that we work on would have graphs that you could take your tables and then graph that information. So I thought we should go back and have a quick review on what graphing looks like and how you do it. I think some of you know this and know it well, and some of you are a little sketchy on it. I know some of my sixth graders in my class in person. I had to kind of help them a little bit with the graphing as well. So I thought, this would be a good thing to learn right now. So graphing. Graphing is always about two different axes or axes when you set up a graph, and you have basically two number lines. One number line that goes horizontal, which is this way, like the horizon, right? The horizon, when you go out to the lake and look at the lake, you see it goes flat. That's the horizon. So that's horizontal. And that's the x-axis. So the one that goes horizontal, right? Horizontal is the x-axis. And that's the one I have in pink on my note card. So if you see the pink one, that's horizontal. Notice that my numbers go up on a number line just like they would if you were making, I mean, it's like little kid stuff here, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it goes up by the same amount each time. So you always try to have equal sized units when you make a graph. So I drew this graph on line paper on a note card. So it has lines for me that are set up going vertically, which are nice and even, but going horizontally, I had to make my own. So I tried to make them the same size and I tried to make them consistent, meaning the distance between 0 and 1 is the same as the distance between 1 and 2 and 2 and 3. So you try to line it up that way. And I'm going to ask you to do that in your notebook this week. So do that, right? Just do it, right? No problem. Okay, now, if the x-axis is the first thing you look at, the horizontal one, right? Horizontal, right? The other one has to be the vertical. So vertical is going straight up and down. So the vertical means straight up and down. That's the y-axis. And x comes before y. So if we have a point that has an x and a y, the first number is the x and the second number is the y. So when you count, you always count first on the x-axis, which is going this way. So I'm counting on this one. I want to graph 3 and 5. So what do? I find the starting point, which is 0, which is the origin, by the way. The origin is at 0, 0. That's like the starting point of all of our graphs. And then I move forward 3 spots. 1, 2, 3. And I'm right here. And I use this line as my kind of like, that's my first thing. 3. Remember? We're going out to 3. So I count to 3 on the x-axis, the horizontal axis, and then I move up. And when I move up, I'm going up to 5. Why am I going up to 5? Because it tells me to. It says the second number is 5, or the y coordinate is 5. So I go up to 5, and now I have a point. Now, anything in 2 dimensions can be called out on a coordinate grid or on a coordinate plane, meaning any number, any location, no matter how big we want to make our graph, if it's 2 dimensions, meaning it's a flat piece of paper or a flat grid, we can find it by giving it an x and a y. And now in this case, we're only talking about positive numbers, but this can also happen with negative numbers when we extend the graph this way and that way. But we'll talk about that later. This week, we're only going to be doing positive numbers. So you go horizontal first, the x-axis, 1, 2, 3, and then you go vertical, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you try to keep these aligned, right? They should align with the original points. Right on those alignments, you get point 3, the coordinate point, which is 3 and 5. X is 3, Y is 5, right? Okay, that's your note card. Copy this down in your notebook. Draw a nice graph. Draw a nice graph, right? That's kind of important here. If it's all sloppy, it's not going to make sense. You won't understand it. If it's kind of all messy and the numbers are all mixed up, or if they get changed dimensions or sizes in between them, I'm not going to be able to tell what you did. So write down all of the parts and finish this note card. And I hope you learned a little tiny bit. And if you already know this, fantastic. But you still have to do the note card. And if you don't know this, well, now you learned something new. Remember, horizontal, vertical, right? First horizontal, then vertical. That's how you count these things. All right, great. I'll see you guys soon. We have another problems coming up, so that's just the first video.